He does, and I certainly could. This is our show at GMFB. Time for the lead block.
For the lead block.
And to the reporters we go, welcoming in Sarah Walsh. She's with the Buccaneers in sunny Tampa. And, Omar Ruiz is freezing his butt off in Kansas City with the Chiefs side. So, Omar, we'll let you go first here as you drew the short straw for the Super Bowl week. So happy to have both of you alongside on GMFB throughout. We know Super Bowl 55 is a rematch from earlier this season. What do you think, or what do you know that the Chiefs learned from that first matchup against Tampa?
Well, if we remember, Kay, the Chiefs jumped out to that big 17-0 lead. Tyreek Hill, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter alone. But then the Chiefs had to hold on for that 27-24 win. Tyrann Mathieu saying it was a learning lesson for them, an experience to remind them that when they face a Tom Brady-led team, that you have to fight for 4 quarters, that Tom Brady is always going to play his team back into contention to win. And when you play Tom Brady, you have to close the door on his face and slam it shut. It is a lesson they learned in Week 12 that they hope to apply once again on Super Bowl Sunday. For more from the Buccaneers' perspective of that Week 12 matchup, let's send it down to Sarah Walsh.
Week 12 was actually the last time this Buccaneers team lost. You mentioned some of the numbers there. Patrick Mahomes went crazy, 462 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, all to Tyreek Hill, who finished with 269 receiving yards. But Bruce Arians looks at that one a little differently. Despite the loss, he said he felt like that's where his team really turned the corner. They were down 20-7 at the half, came back, made it a game they would lose by just a field goal. And he said it was then that his offense really started clicking in the second half. After that, they went into the bye week, and this team has never looked back since. 7 straight wins in their last 6 games. They haven't scored less than 30 points. Now, the Buccaneers don't have a wealth of Super Bowl experience like the defending champs that are coming to town, but Tom Brady told me experience doesn't matter. At this point of the year, it's playing well that matters most, Kay?
And he certainly is playing well, that Tom Brady, looking for number 7. This is his 10th Super Bowl, and it's in his backyard. I wonder if we'll get some Tommy and Gronky action down there with the little kiddie pool and all of that leading up to the festivities. Tonight, of course, Tom and Gronk will have to face questions from the global media on Super Bowl opening night. Omar, Sarah, thank you. Okay, let's take a look at this. The resume for Tom Brady, not in question, even a little bit, Kyle. He's got more Lombardis than any player in NFL history. That's 2 more than Montana and Bradshaw, by the way. Kyle, is Brady sort of playing with house money in this Super Bowl?
Of course, by my definition, by all of our definitions, I think Tom Brady's been playing with house money since 2005. That's when he won his 3rd Super Bowl and, in my opinion, became a Hall of Famer. I think Tom Brady's been a Hall of Fame player for 16 years. That's house money. I think he has had 3 separate individual Hall of Fame careers. That's house money. I think he's been the greatest to ever do it for what? What do we think? Maybe 6 or 7 years at least? That's house money. And he may not even be done. I'm not convinced Tampa Bay is his last team. He may have another team after this. It's all house money for you, for me, for normal people. But there's a quote I heard once, I think I heard it first come from Dana White, about the billionaire mentality. Why keep working? Why keep earning? Why not just buy an island, get fat, and live out the rest of your life? The quote is, because there's always a bigger jet. That's the kind of obsessive maniac that Tom Brady is. He doesn't look at his house money at all. He feels like he's still the kid from Michigan who couldn't beat out Drew Henson. I think Tom Brady looks around and says, well, Bill Russell had more championships than I do, so what am I stopping for? House money is nothing to him. It's, for the rest of us, we would have quit years ago. We would have cashed in, sold everything, buy a house and chill. No, Tom Brady is playing in house money in my mind for sure. He has nothing else to prove. He already got to the Super Bowl without Bill Belichick with the team. But for him, scrappy little kid at the combine in the boxer shorts who hasn't proven anything. For me, yes. For him, not even close.
You know, it's the LeBradford Smith theory, right, Kyle? That's what Michael Jordan had in The Last Dance, where you start searching for motivation, and now it's probably what can I do that no one else has done? But you're right, it is house money at this point. Look at what Brady's done just this season alone, in the fact that he's taken a moribund, mediocre franchise, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have not been to the playoffs since 2007, have not seen the Super Bowl since 2003, and in 1 year has taken them to the big dance. And I would go down even further. On the route he took here, goes into Drew Brees' building in what was supposed to be the coronation of Drew Brees and this wonderful final season for Drew Brees, ruins his dreams. All right, goes into Aaron Rodgers' building, supposed to be Aaron Rodgers' MVP year, his statement year that this is my team, this is my time, forget about Mahomes, it's me, beats him in his building, and now is going to the Super Bowl and is going to look to beat Mahomes. Just take a look at what he's doing at 43 as the oldest player ever to suit up for a Super Bowl. Guess what? He already has that record 3 of the last 4 times. So when he suits up and turns 43, he'll be the oldest, the second oldest, the third oldest, and the 5th oldest player to play in a Super Bowl. This guy, or quarterback, sorry, Vinatieri's got a few there too. This guy is defying logic. And to me already, and I know Brady would say, my job is not done. Just getting to the Super Bowl, beating Brees, beating Rodgers, and now being able to even go into that game yet again for a 10th time, this is all house money, baby. He has proven every detractor wrong, and he has shown that he is one of a kind. Tom Brady is unlike any player this sport has ever seen.
No, he's not playing with house money. I agree with you guys on his legacy, on his career. Yeah. You know what, Kyle, you might be right. He's been a Hall of Famer forever. Okay, fine. But even though he's still successful, even though he's still one of the best quarterbacks, this isn't his house anymore. Okay, yeah, Brady's the man. Yeah, I guess you can call him the Mandalay Bay, but there's a kid with the golden arm. You can call him the new golden nugget. So the house is KC.
Okay.
The casino always wins. Who's the defending champs? Like, you're talking about Tom Brady like he won a Super Bowl last year. Did we forget who the best team in the NFL is? And not just this season, last season too. Did we forget who the best quarterback is? Okay, yeah, Aaron Rodgers might be the MVP, but over a sustained amount of time over the last couple of seasons, who's the best quarterback? Who gives you the best highlights? Who has the best playbook? Oh, and not to mention a defense that's disrespected. Did we forget? I get it. Tom Brady's playing with house money because we're talking about the course of his career. But if we're talking about the last couple of seasons, the house, that's the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care where this game is played at. Yeah, we get it. It's Tampa Bay playing in Tampa. That's fine. But the house is the Kansas City football team. And the casino always wins. That's why the pressure is more on Tom Brady than it is on Patrick Mahomes.
Gotta love a Vegas metaphor. I know Kyle is here for it. Kyle, I ask you this. He's the NFL GOAT. We know that. Playing for house money there. He's got 6. How much do you think Tom Brady thinks about Michael Jordan and how that 7th ring would put him ahead of him?
He probably thinks of all of them. I mean, we all grew up in Tom Brady in the same generation. 6 rings was a very, very special number. And I know years ago that Kobe Bryant wanted to get 6, and LeBron has talked about wanting to get 6. And I think Brady, as someone in that generation, knows what 6 means. And he also knows what 7 would mean. But I think he's moved past Jordan. I really do. That's why I mentioned Bill Russell, 10, 11. He's in the 1920s Yankees and Ali in that era. So I think he's thought about Jordan. He's already Ty Jordan. He's on to like deities and Roman gods and things like that now.
Yeah, I don't want to keep talking about gambling, even though you're just talking about Jordan, because we don't do that here on the show. We don't condone that. But let me just pose this question. Jordan? We're talking about house money here on the show, right? All right, so Peter, Kyle, I'll let you take it away after this. Since we're talking about house money, if both of these quarterbacks end up taking a gamble and basically throwing the ball to the other team, being a little risky with the way they deliver the rock, and they throw 2 interceptions, gambling with the ball, who do you believe is going to win the game? Is it going to be Tom Brady throwing a couple of interceptions, or is it going to be Patrick Mahomes throwing a couple of interceptions?
I mean, I think Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions against the Packers, and his defense was able to bail him out. Mahomes doesn't throw those interceptions. Mahomes did it last year in the Super Bowl, and he bailed himself out and found a way to throw the wasp play.
Yep.
The thing is with Brady and Mahomes, which is so different than maybe even Brees or these other guys, once Brees was down 10 points in the 4th quarter, we knew it wasn't going to happen. Once Rodgers didn't convert on that 4th down or that 3rd down and they kicked the field goal, we knew it wasn't going to happen. You're never safe with Mahomes and Brady. They find a way, and they've done it time and time again. So even if this game becomes a 20-point lead or a 30-point lead, don't change that channel. These 2 guys are unlike any other quarterbacks in the league.
Kyle, quick answer to Nate's question.
Honestly, I haven't been on a plane in so long. I just want to go to Las Vegas and go to the adults-only pool. That's all I want. I'm sorry. That's what I got. They're both great quarterbacks.
No, but nobody wants to be at McCarran Airport walking that long, sad road back to the terminal.
I don't want to be in that pool.
We've got Ian Rappaport with us right now at Rap Sheet joining us. I will not ask you about Vegas. I will not ask you about your adventures in Las Vegas. I will ask you, though, Ian, about a huge trade that happened over the weekend between the Rams and the Lions. Tell us everything.
Yeah, if you went to bed early on Saturday, maybe kind of just curled up with a good book, about 9:15, 9:30, went to bed, kind of didn't pay attention to anything, you missed a lot. The NFL world changed around 11 o'clock on Saturday night. Matthew Stafford, who of course we know was headed for a divorce with the Detroit Lions, amicable, but still we knew he was not going to play there, was traded to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff, for 2 future first-round picks, and for a third-rounder. If you're curious, guys, how much interest the Detroit Lions would get in Matthew Stafford, the answer was a lot, more so than maybe any trade we've seen in a very, very long time. Several teams had a first-rounder on the table. Obviously, the Rams had 2 first-rounders on the table. Of course, they were in future years. There were players being discussed. This was a massive haul that the Detroit Lions were going to get. And so then the question was, do they get a quarterback in the deal? They wanted Jared Goff. This was basically considered by a lot of the public as a throw-in because his contract is so terrible, $40 million plus guaranteed. The Lions wanted Jared Goff to be their quarterback this year. If he can regain the early magic he had in his career, they'll be fine.